Alright guys, welcome back to another Opera Omnia video where we're going to be talking about Eiko, who is probably a familiar character because of one mechanic, and that is going to be her LD revival mechanic. We're going to get into what she's going to be getting with her LD ability, her rework, her C90, everything that you need to know about Eiko, as Eiko, in my opinion, is pretty much a very new player-friendly character, and I'll get into it as to why I say that. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about all of this in this video and let you guys know whether or not it is actually worth pulling for in the upcoming banner that I believe should appear with the Abyss Perfectum 6 that should be appearing in like a day or so, that whenever I upload this video. So but yeah, if I'm wrong, please don't jump on me in my DMs telling me that I'm wrong. Okay, I'm human, all right. But yeah, so we're gonna get into it and talk about Eiko. So as always, if you guys do enjoy the video, I swear I don't know what you guys watch me half the time, consider liking the video and subscribing for future Opera Omnia content. We're leaving that in this video because I don't care. Anyways, let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's talk about Eiko and her upcoming rework, her C90, and her LD ability. So we'll first look into Eiko's rework. So her Smite ability got an additional 2 uses. Then, whenever she uses it, it becomes a 6-hit Holy Magic Brave, plus an HP attack 2 times, with Brave gains that occurs just before the second HP attack, and it does deal 50% splash HP damage to non-targets. Her HP regen ability, excuse me, she increases the party's Brave gain to 300% of initial Brave, allows for 150% gained max Brave overflow. She then does her magic HP attack, and afterwards she does a party HP heal by 100% of the HP damage dealt, up to 50% of the max HP. Now this doesn't increase the turn count, but it does decrease if you use her as a friend support or during burst and or summon turn count. Now that Eiko is getting her C90, her EX ability does get her extension. So her EX ability increases the recast speed by 20% and then follows up with a 4-hit distributed Holy Magic Brave plus an AoE HP attack 4 times. It does deal 4 HP damage to all targets and increases the party HP heal to 100% of the HP damage dealt, up to 50% of the max HP, and she does extend the Holy Resist down to 8 turns. Now when it comes to her C65, her C65 got extended to 7 turns, so it got extended by an additional 2 turns, and she now adds party attack up by 15% and adds party brave damage cap up by 20%. Now her double holy attack also got changed as well, and this occurs after you use her EX ability and her HP plus turns into the double holy. So the upgraded double holy becomes a 4-hit Holy Magic Brave plus an HP attack 4 times. She increases the Brave by 50% of the HP damage dealt after the first and third HP attacks, and she increases the Brave by 300% of initial Brave after the second HP attack. She deals 50% splash HP damage to non-targets after the second and last HP attacks, and she increases the EX recast gauge by 10%. So now we'll get into what everybody is most curious about, and that is going to be her LD ability, Rebirth Flame. So she first revives any KO'd party members, follows up with a party HP heal by 50% of the max HP, and increases the party Brave gain by 300% of initial Brave. And then she deals a 4-hit AoE Magic Brave plus an AoE HP attack 3 times that does deal 4 HP damage to all targets, and she does increase her Brave by 20% of the HP damage dealt after each HP attack except for the last. Now she does grant 3 stacks of her brand new overhead called Phoenix Pinion with a max stacks of 9. Now do know, and this is something that I'm glad they added this for those who were curious about bringing Eiko into the future 6 warrior quest whenever it does come to global. So Eiko's revive can affect the entire party whenever you take her into the 6 warrior quest once it arrives to global. So that's good to know. for those who are maybe whenever the 6 Warrior Quest comes to global and you're struggling in it, or maybe because you're getting killed so many times, then Eiko's revive can definitely help you out in that fight. Just depending if, of course, the boss is not like resistant to like holy damage or whatnot. Now, with the overhead, it provides the party with a 20% HP damage up, a 20% brave damage up, party holy enchant by 20%. Now, as long as you have at least 1 stack and any party member goes below 50% of the max HP, it triggers the rebirth flame triggered counterattack. Well, not really counterattack. Well, yeah, I guess you could say it's kind of like a counterattack. And it triggers even if Eiko is KO'd. Now, another thing that I want to add to this is that, let's say if by chance you take Eiko into an old Lufenia fight where the Lufenia orb goes off and it actually nukes your entire team. Well, guess what? Eiko's, as long as you have 1 stack on her overhead, Eiko actually revives everybody on the team so the fight can continue, and it does not count as a KO, which is pretty cool. So it'll definitely help out any newer players who are trying to complete Lufenia Plus fights and they are very close into beating it. Well, Eiko would definitely be a great addition to your team if you are struggling with said fight. Now, with her LD boards and whatnot, once you have that equipped, adds party max brave up by 20%, party brave damage up by 20%, so now it'll be 40%, and then HP damage up by 20%, but to Eiko it's going to be 40%. So and that's this HP damage up by 20%, that's only for Eiko herself, and that's pretty much it. Now, the follow, I guess like the counter attack pretty much. So the counter attack, while the Phoenix Pinion has at least 1 stack and any party member goes below 50% of the max HP, it revives any KO'd party members. Party HP heal by 50% of the max HP, increases the party's brave by 200% of initial brave, and then it deals an 8-hit AoE magic brave plus an AoE HP trap attack, or pretty much like the attack that it deals here, which is a 4-hit AoE magic brave plus an AoE HP attack 3 times, and it does consume 1 stack of the Phoenix Pinion overhead, or the counter that is on her overhead. Now, one thing to know about this as well is that you can actually stack the 3 uses that you have, so that way you can have 9 uses of the I guess like the trap, if you is what they're calling it here. But to me it's more like a kind of like a follow-up attack, kind of. Even though like if per se you do get knocked down and whatnot, or if you actually, you know, take a hit and still survive, for me I count it as a what you call it, a counter attack instead of a trap attack. But you know, to each their own. Yeah, so you can actually stack the amount of uses to get up to 9 stacks with her Phoenix Pinion overhead. So it's not a bad ability to actually have. This is very new player friendly, especially you know, like I mentioned earlier, like this will definitely help out any newer players or any players that just recently started and have been having a rough time in, like, say some Lufenia plus fights, Lufenia or Chaos, whatever. Then Eiko, as long as they don't like resist Holy or anything like that, because that will pretty much reduce the, I guess, like her usage in the fight, will actually be a pretty good addition to your team, and will help you out and hopefully beating the fight, learning the fight, and so on and so forth. So not a bad LD ability in my opinion. So is Eiko worth pulling for in her upcoming banner? Well, like I mentioned during the video, or earlier during the video, Eiko is very new player friendly. Like, she will definitely help out players who just started playing the game, especially with Anniversary going on. It'll definitely help out those players who are struggling with big fights like Lufenia Plus, Chaos, whatever fight it is, so that she can revive you and help you in understanding the mechanics of said fight, because you really don't want to rely on Eiko in every single fight unless you are truly struggling, because like by the time you saw going into the Shinryu era. I mean, like Eiko, you know, the revive mechanic is still nice, don't get me wrong, but in terms of damage, she is going to fall off very quickly. Like even though like she does have her brand new LD ability and it does deal some decent damage, in my opinion, it's not that type of damage that a lot of us do enjoy. But you know, she's not really here for the damage. She's more here for the utility and little support that she has, and her utility being the revival mechanic with her overhead. Now you can definitely you can use her revival mechanic to be able to survive certain attacks, but if you are going into a fight where a boss gets a numerous amount of turns, and if you are truly struggling with that fight, then it's definitely best to not bring Eiko into that fight. But aside from that, I mean, with what she provides in general, with HP regen being provided to the party via his skill 1, and now she is able to wholly enchant the party with the overhead from her LD ability. You know, she's basically become a utility character with somewhat supportive characteristics, and she is able to she is another holy enchanter, seeing as how she is able to impel the enemy, and with the holy holy resist down debuff from her EX ability, if I'm not mistaken. So it really just depends if you actually need her. As a veteran player myself, I don't really I pulled for her in JP, and after that I didn't use her ever again, just because I kind of felt like if I were to get used to her mechanic, I would not learn the game, and I feel like I would probably rely on her mechanic a little too much. So I felt comfortable enough to just pull for her just for the heck of it. And then after that, it's just like, well, yeah, nice knowing you. But you know, for new players who just recently started playing the game, and if you are struggling a little bit, you know, Eiko is good to help you out in trying to collect like mats, trying to collect all those goodies that you need to upgrade other better units, so that way you can beat Lufenia fights without Eiko. But aside from that, in my opinion, for vets, I would say she is a pass. Unless you really need her mechanic. But for newer players, she's not a bad option to pick up for helping you out in learning the game in terms of like fight mechanics and stuff like that. But again, I wouldn't get too. I would not rely on her for a long time. I would rely on her on a very short duration of time. But you guys, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below, if she is worth pulling for or not, and any other thoughts on Eiko. And of course, if you did enjoy the video, consider liking the video and subscribing for future Opera Omnia content. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.